Hey, it's Nick from Lean6. Now, have you ever bought a pair of running shoes and just not got on with them? There could be a really good reason for that, and today what I'm going to do is go through some simple ways to find the right running shoes for you. So, whether you're new to running or a seasoned runner, you're going to be spending a fair bit of time in them, and let's face it, good running shoes these days aren't cheap, so getting it right is really, really important. Now, you don't want to make the same mistake I did years back of buying a pair of running shoes purely based on how they looked. They can end up doing you more harm than good, as I found out to my cost. Now, back in my business consulting days, I was fortunate enough to work with a leading podiatrist who showed me the error of my ways. So I'm going to share this info with you right now so you can get the right running shoes for you. Now, pronation is the way the foot rolls inward for impact distribution when you land on the ground. It's part of your body's natural movement. As your foot strikes the ground, it rolls inward to absorb the shock, placing 3 times your body weight on the arch of your foot. Some people roll in too much, others not enough. It's important your running shoes support how your foot rolls when you land. So to figure out how you are landing when you run, you can check the bottom of your running shoes and see how they're wearing. So you're going to fit into one of 3 categories. Either neutral, overpronator, or supinator. Now, first up there is neutral. You'll see where in the middle of the shoe where the ball of your foot strikes the ground. This is one of the most biomechanically sound as you're evenly distributing the forces across the whole of your foot. Now, next up is the overpronator, which is the most common amongst runners. You'll notice where on the inside of your shoe, the foot lands on the outside of the heel, then rolls inward, excessively transferring weight to the inner edge, rather than the ball of your foot. You'll notice your big toe and second toe do most of the work when you're pushing off. If you have low arches or flat feet, then this is you. You are more likely to suffer from shin splints, plantar fasciitis, and heel spurs. So it's important you have a running shoe that is designed to support this and get you running in as neutral position as possible. This is me, and I can't tell you what difference it's made wearing the right running shoes now. So lastly, there will be the supinators amongst you. So here, if you're a supinator, you'll notice more wear and tear on the outer edge of your shoe as the outer heel of your foot hits the ground with an increased angle with little or no inward rolling, which causes a large transmission of shock into the lower part of the leg. You'll notice you'll push off with your smaller toes on the outside of the foot, and you'll be more prone to injuries like ankle strain, shin splints, and plantar fasciitis. You'll also notice that you have quite high arches on your foot. So now you've established what type of runner you are, we need to look at the running shoes you can buy to support your feet in the right way. So for the neutral and supinator runners among you, you can use a neutral running shoe. There are a few shoes out there for supinators, but a neutral shoe will support your foot. So when it comes to overpronators, you need a stability shoe with more support on the arch to stop it from collapsing when you run. So wearing the right trainers for how you pronate will reduce your chance of injury and make for a much more comfortable run as you complement your running style rather than working against it. We've included some links to different running shoes in the description below. So next we're going to take a look at cushioning. When you are putting in your weekly miles, you want a pair of running shoes that have a bit more cushioning. Now the trade-off for that cushioning is that they'll be a bit heavier, but your joints are going to thank you for giving them that extra bit of cushioning on those long runs. Race day is a different story entirely though. You want a running shoe that is lighter and ultimately faster. Here's what I mean. Say your normal running shoes are each 150 grams heavier than your race shoes. For an elite runner with a 10K time of 30 minutes and an average of 180 steps per minute, that's 5,400 steps they'll be doing. So over the race, they'll be carrying an extra 810 kilos. It soon adds up. So when it comes to the life expectancy, we're on about your trainers and not you. Please, please, please don't try and get your money's worth out of your running shoes. Everything has a life expectancy, and so do your running shoes. Over time, the cushioning, grip, and structure of the shoes will break down. If you push past the miles they're designed to do, you're increasing your chance of getting injured, slipping, and impacting your running performance. A rule of thumb here is that your shoes will have about 300 to 400 miles in them before you need to change them. If you use Strava and you record the kit that you use, you'll get a friendly email from Strava when your trainers are about due to be changed. So the last thing to consider is matching your shoes to the surface that you are running on. I compare road shoes to Formula One cars on slicks. They're great in dry, warm conditions where they get good grip on tarmac or up at the track, but in the wet, well, I don't mind admitting there have been times on the track when there's been a downpour and I've completely decked it on my warm-up. You need the right shoes for the conditions that you're running in. If you're running through rivers and muddy fields, you want as much grip as possible, and a good pair of grippy trail shoes is the answer. We've included suggestions for both in the description below. Now, if you want to find out a lot more information, a lot more detail about winter weather running gear, we've produced a video and it's linked here. Hopefully you're now in a better position to get the perfect running shoe for you, your running style, and the terrain you're going to be running on.